everyone. Thanks for joining us here on the Rochester. You guys are already like, I know. On the Rochester Press Box, I'm Bill Pucko. Happy to be joined by the guys. Tariq, Spence, how you doing, man?
It's an old Steve McQueen joke from Magnificent Seven. He never said a word. And so Yul Brynner got really mad, so he just made facial expressions.
That's working. What do you got?
What do you mean, what do I got? I'm feeling good. Well, it's opening.
Hickory 33, I like that.
Opening week of the NBA season kicks off. This is the stupidest jersey I own, and that's why I love it. It's the Indiana Pacers' third jersey dedication to Hoosiers, you know, the Indiana legendary film. Yeah. It's a 33 Larry Bird jersey. Larry Bird never played a minute for the Indiana Pacers franchise, so it's a jersey they wore based on a movie that had nothing to do with the team that has a man who never played for the franchise on it that was sold by the Pacers and the NBA.
Let me just make everybody angry right now. Hoosiers not even in my top 5 for basketball movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how we're starting.
You are the critic.
Oh yeah.
Be like Mike. Is that
So let's talk a little Buffalo Bills. To me, and I'll get out of you guys' way, they're maddening because their highs are so high, their wins are so convincing, and their losses are crazy when they take on the Patriots and the Giants. At that point, they were playing the two worst teams in the NFL. The Giants were horrible, and then New England was even worse. They split those games. They made them both close. It was like, it's maddening. What do you got?
It's bizarre. It's like they're playing down to the competition. And you take a team like Miami at the time, which was really rolling, and they crushed them. So I'm confused about this with the Jets, too, and their defense. You know, that was a winnable game as well. That was right down the wire, winning overtime. So the Bills are losing the games they used to win that close, which makes me very concerned about this offense. I'm not really that worried about defense, even though the defense has slipped from third, I think 3 weeks ago, to now 10th or 13th. So I'm a little bit worried about the offense. They can't keep the points. You can't score against the Giants. The Giants' defense was terrible.
There is nothing to worry about with the offense.
Oh, my gosh.
No, it's very simple. Like, look, you can sit and look at final scores and oh, no, this is bad. The defense, of course, is going to slip. They're missing 5 legitimate starters.
I agree. 3
of them being all pros. And here's the thing. I think they're performing admirably for who they got back there.
Then why can't they score?
Okay, here's the problem. Statistically, by all advanced metrics, the Bills' offense is still a top 5, sometimes top 3 offense in the NFL. Josh Allen threw for 265 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and 1 interception. James Cook was getting almost 4.5 yards a carry the other day.
Running the ball, which I said for 3 years.
Yeah, and here we go. They have a running game now. And they're relying on the running game. And you know what happened when they relied on the running game the last 4 games?
What's that?
They've gone 1-3.
Why don't you run it more if he's averaging more yards? I don't understand.
They are running it more. And here's what's happening. By running the ball, you're limiting your possessions. Okay. And here is the example. The drives that they're having of 17, 14, 13 yards that are scoring touchdowns towards the end of the game. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's what McDermott wants to do every single drive by running the ball the way he is. It's not sustainable in the NFL anymore because you're going to pick up a hold, you're going to pick up a false start, there's going to be penalties that kill that drive. And that's what you're watching happen. If you don't pick up a first down 10 plays in, you're punting with nothing to show for it. You are limiting drives on a team that can instantly strike, which we've seen over and over again. The problem is what you have wanted for the last 4 years.
What is that?
They got their run game, and they're spreading the ball around, and it's hurting the way that Josh Allen knows how to play football.
Oh, my gosh.
What other explanation is there?
Okay,
poor chemistry.
Well, solve it. So what do they go back to being thrown all over the park?
Feast or famine Josh. When Feast or famine Josh shows up, here's the thing, man. You want to complain about the way that the game went opening day because Josh made those mistakes? You're right. Mm-hmm. But here's what we never talk about. For those bad Josh games where he goes feast or famine, there's 3 or 4 good ones. If you give me 20% bad, 80% good, which you see when Josh plays the way he does, because that's also the record they have in the regular season, I will take it. Take the reins off the kid, let him go play ball, forget about the run game. Use the pass to set up the run, not vice versa.
I will be concerned a little bit about his shoulder. You use the run game so he doesn't get hit as much. McDermott made that an issue early on in the season to him to get out of bounds and not take the hits over 17 games, regular season before you even get to the playoffs. So now you're saying just let Josh, feature famine Josh, feature famine Josh. Great. What are you going to have as a quarterback when you get to week 15?
Well, here's the question. Josh has had 2 injuries in the last 2 seasons. He had the UCL injury last year.
Being Josh.
No, that happened in the pocket throwing the ball. That shoulder injury happened in the pocket behind the line of scrimmage. When you let him run and play his way, he doesn't get hurt somehow, knock on wood. It's when you try to put him in a box, bad things happen.
You wouldn't have to knock on wood if he hadn't run so much.
But he didn't get hurt running.
He's using luck as logic. That doesn't make any sense.
But he's been running for 5 years. Show me that injury. I got 2 injuries inside the pocket. I can show you those.
Yeah, injuries pile up.
Yeah, but there's a lot to be said there. So I asked him for a solution. If you got something you'd like to see them do differently?
There's something. Well, no. I would. Well, if you're averaging 4 yards a carry, yes, I would run. But the other thing is, there's something wrong with the chemistry of this team and his receivers. I'm not going to put this all on Josh. His receivers have dropped a lot of balls. I mean, easy stuff. Literally, Gabe Davis has dropped balls. We know now there's a wrist injury for Knox. All of these different things. So I don't know what's going on. You got to get a receiver. What happened to Shakur? What happened to all these other guys that they had that were on the bench performing well? They got a lot of weapons.
Well, yeah, but again, you're not throwing the ball as much as you were. Therefore, you're only giving opportunities to your top guys. The Kincaid, well, he had his breakout game, 75 yards receiving the other day. He was the leading receiver. You spread the ball around. You lost the game. You lost the game.
I should point out that this discussion is being held without knowledge of how the Bills did against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So all of this may not apply.
Of course, he threw for 400 yards and 15 touchdowns.
When they do everything I say and they win this game on Thursday as we're taping this, you're watching it right now. I told you so. I told you so.
But if they lose, what do you say?
Well, it didn't happen the way that I said it. They're not going to lose. They're not losing that game.
Well, congratulations on the big win on Thursday.
They're not losing that game. You're going to have to edit that out.
They're not. No, don't edit. Look at me right now.
God.
Put that camera on my face. They're not losing that game. This is a victory Sunday as we're having this conversation. 7,000 yards passing, 42 touchdowns, Josh Allen Thursday night.
We are the Rochester Press Box, and we're making picks next.
I hope he's right.
Just passing through life lessons from notable Rochesterians, people you may think you know. Don Elhart, Maggie Brooks, John Dady, and Stacy Pension, J Mac and Soccer Sam, Fred Costello, and Jake Zembeck, along with 21 more. How they all got from there to here. It's a new book by Bill Pucko, available for $12 postpaid only from rocksportsnow.com. Try it, and thank you.
Our Buffalo Bills segment brought to you by Connors and Ferris, your trusted and dedicated workers' comp attorneys and proud sponsor of Buffalo Bills Training Camp.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box, our pick segment brought to you by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. And Greg is with us. Greg, we didn't get a chance to get your slant on the Bills in the first segment, so give me the short version of your level of panic with this team right now.
Mayhem. Feel like I'm going to jump off the bridge here. It's
That's
sliding quickly, way too quickly, and they've really got to turn it around here in these short 4 days.
Yeah, that was like the easy stretch of the season. It's disappointing that it went the way it did, and they got lucky against the Giants.
This is supposed to be the soft spot of their schedule, and when the defense folds, which is supposed to be there, all they had to do was hold them to a field goal and go into overtime. They couldn't even do that. That's what's really worrying me. The offense put 25 points up.
We've decided on that. You know, the games everyone is talking about is the Bears at the Chargers this week. Take a swing at this one for us.
Well, I see the Bears. I mean, I think the Bears are going to cover here. They won 2 of their last 3, and they got the new quarterback in that's got all this mojo going for them. So I think I'm going with the Bears.
So it's 8.5 is on the line, and again, we're playing it because it's Sunday night, high profile. It's not a great matchup. No, what do you think?
It's not a great matchup. I believe that the Chargers they cannot lose this game, and I don't think they will lose this game. So I have to go with the Chargers. Although it's quite interesting to me where this is going to go for Chicago. If this guy is sort of like a Purdy and starts to come back and win these games for Chicago, which I don't think he's going to do. I think he's going to snap back to reality on Sunday. It just makes for an interesting story of what do you do with Fields? Where do we go? There's all this drama about all these quarterbacks coming out. So it's just interesting to see this go. Just ride it out. Let's see if the kid wins. If he doesn't, I think the Chargers will win.
Everything that's been said here has upset you.
I'm so upset with everybody.
Why?
And I don't know. I think I hate all of you. And just for a little while, I'll come back to loving you all again in a second. What I'm getting at here, you have a guy who was a Division II quarterback last year on a team that has zero talent, that has to travel west. Look, any other team, I'm not taking the Chargers because I think the Chargers are frauds. But because it's this Bears team, you got your wonderful victory win with this kid that nobody's ever going to hear about ever again. No, the Chargers are going to cover this spread on Sunday night.
So we got two Bears and a Charger. Let me even it up then, because I think LA hasn't done anything to deserve to be 8.5-point favorites against anybody. Yeah, but I'm going to take them.
All right, well, listen, I just think Justin Herbert does not have a signature win in the NFL. These are the type of games that he does win, and I think he will win.
Good point. Yes.
Second game, Greg, who you got?
You know, after the Patriots beat up on the Bills this past weekend, they're getting 10.5 or 10 against the Dolphins. I got to go with the Patriots over the Dolphins.
That's a wormy pick.
Ooh,
That is a wormy
interesting.
pick.
I really like the expression. I'm going. I like Jacksonville at home, giving 2.5 to Pittsburgh.
I'm going with Kirk Cousins, and the run continues. I don't believe in Green Bay at all.
This is the game that's okay. I'm not going to.
What is it? You're on edge this entire show.
He is
man.
on the edge.
You try looking at your face this whole time and try not being on edge.
You look in the mirror.
We have something here.
Jeez, man, get to your pick.
I'm going to flip this
You're
table.
not used to being challenged,
man.
right?
What is wrong?
Commanders, Eagles, 6.5. The Eagles are favored by they had that monster win in prime time against the Dolphins. It's a divisional game. Commanders always play division really tight, and the Commanders are home. I think the Commanders cover the 6.5 against Philly on Sunday.
Cool. Any closing comments, Greg? You're leading the pick pool here with a 9-5 record.
I'm really pulling for the Patriots so they can take one away from the Dolphins. And then if the Bills pull this game off against the Bucs on Thursday night, then we're right back in the hunt.
You do realize with your jumping off the bridge take, if the Patriots win and the Bills lose, they're a game back with the tiebreaker.
Yeah, but we're going to beat them at home at the end of the season, so it's not going to marry down.
Let's hope so.
Where are we, guys? Where are we? We're jumping off bridges. We're predicting wins down the road. What's happening here?
Greg, thank you. Our pick segment brought to you by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Like it or not, it's next. Here's the Press Box Trivia question brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road.
Maybe you've been here before, maybe this is your first time. It's always a great getaway. Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy. I'll take you inside the gorge at Watkins Glen. Look for the getaway guy on Facebook.
Here's the Press Box Trivia answer brought to you by Market View Liquor, where exceptional customer service meets an extensive selection. Jefferson Road at 390. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. Our Like It or Not segment is brought to you by Sport Clips. Where the MVP experience is better than ever, Sport Clips is a game changer. No appointments are needed. Stop by a Rochester location today. Tariq, like it or not, start of the NBA season. Looks like a pretty interesting
Well,
one.
it is because the Nuggets look like they're picking up right where they left off. Listen, if they go for another championship, at least to get to the finals, maybe face Milwaukee or Seattle, it'll be interesting. But I just don't think the Lakers got enough guns. It's kind of like Jaws. You didn't need a bigger boat for crying out loud offensively. Because I saw that game, and I'm like, all right, down by 9, down by 8. It's not the Warriors where they run you over, and by the fourth quarter, you're trying to do your best to get back in it. The Nuggets look fundamentally better than the Lakers. So the Nuggets look like they're running right back up again.
I like the setup of the whole season is you've got that championship team that's coming back and doing it. You've got contenders that have made massive changes, and you've got this Victor Wembanyama, who's Wembanyama. Get his name right. You're going to have to say it a million times.
I can't correct you because I might get it wrong too.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all this stuff playing into a new season.
Yeah, I think what makes the NBA brilliant, especially this season, is it's wide open. It's wide open in both conferences, right? And I mean, you look at what happened last year with Sacramento. Nobody saw them coming out of anywhere. I mean, the Lakers have a legitimate shot at this thing. You know, if Anthony Davis cannot go 0 for 6, 0 for 8 in the second half.
17 points first half in that game, no points second half.
0 points. I mean, think about it. You can literally name, legitimately, 7, 8, 9 teams that you could see coming out of the West right now. 4, 5, 6 teams you can see coming out of the East. I mean, that's what makes a really healthy, great, exciting league.
Suns look good even without Beal, so that's interesting. They won against the Warriors.
Yeah, to see Lillard playing in Milwaukee, it's going to give a whole new dynamic to Antetokounmpo, who may still be the best player in the league.
And could go for MVP this year if he's got Dame working well with him and a team that they've got. It's going to be deep.
That's what I want to keep my eye on the most this year is, you know, Dame always said, I never had help. I need help. I need help. Well, now you're Robin. Like, you are legitimately Robin here. Are you able to play the game you want to play, second fiddle, not last shot, in Milwaukee?
So, like it or not, we have a World Series pairing. You've been watching some baseball.
You know, I'm not the diehardest of baseball fans, but like leading up into the World Series, it's been appointment baseball. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little disappointed that the Phillies lost that Game 7 because there's something about watching a game in Philadelphia on television. It feels like you're there. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Bryce Harper obviously is one of the most clutch postseason players maybe in MLB history now, but the changes to the game have improved it. The clock, I mean, the lesson between the pitches, the fact that the drama is building so much faster.
I feel bad for Major League Baseball that it is the Rangers and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Not too big draw. I would have gone with Philly just to see that ambiance in Philadelphia. I told you, they had me watching baseball.
Like, we never worry about, oh, no one's going to watch that Super Bowl because these two teams are playing in it. But the World Series, and again, are you affected by the fact that statistically this is the worst World Series ever in terms of the in terms of the combination of wins of the two teams that are involved in it? It's the lowest total ever.
Well, you can get as much of the audience as you want. You got a young NBA season, so you're not competing with that. If you stay with the NFL, which they did, which is smart, you're going to get as many eyeballs. But I, as a New Yorker, as a baseball fan, I'm not interested in watching it. I'll watch Game 1 on Friday, and then we'll see where we go from there.
I think that makes it more interesting because with baseball, somebody's going to do well, and you have these teams with a lot of inexperience. The records aren't great. I don't know who's coming out of what, and you could see wild swings in games for the whole series, right? I mean, no dominant team. I don't even know who I'm picking in this series right now.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
No, the question is, who's the major star? Is anybody that comes to mind that's your major star?
No,
and that's your problem.
Yeah.
Well, if you could remember his name, and it's Garcia, right? The right fielder for Texas?
You're asking me?
Well, you watched some of these games.
Yes, I did. For Bryce Harper.
See, the needle mover.
This is the Rochester Press Box. Our Like It or Not segment was brought to you by Sport Clips. Unfinished Business is next.
The Press Box Stat of the Week is being brought to you by McArdle's Restaurant in Fairport. Come home to McArdle's.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Rochester Press Box. Time for Unfinished Business. Pat, start us.
University of Michigan football might be in some trouble with allegations of sign stealing, and not like decoding them, like a member of their football staff buying tickets to other teams' games to videotape from, be in front of and behind what the signs are from the sidelines. It's electronic surveillance, and it is very illegal according to NCAA rules. Two very funny things are happening right now. First off, Michigan is denying any knowledge that this was happening. Jim Harbaugh just happened to see a guy on his staff who knows exactly what's going to happen and refused to ask any questions after that, but took his advice anyway. But even funnier is the lack of anger from other NCAA football programs. They're almost like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Oh, we don't do it. But, I mean, there's sign stealing here and this, that, and the other thing. It's not good. But you know why they're doing that? Because they're all doing this too. They're all doing this too. It seems that this guy on the Michigan staff was just stupid enough to buy tickets to other Big Ten football games in his own name, 2 seats on each side of the field for $1. I don't know what to make of this, because if Michigan getting caught for something that everyone else is doing gets them punished, I guess it's not fair. But at the same time, if you don't punish them, you are not keeping other teams from continuing to do what they're doing. So, do you go by the letter of the law if what they found is true and kick the book at Michigan? Or because everyone else is doing it, just keep looking the other way?
Sometimes you just have to be honest on what you're facing. I would like to see the Lakers win another championship, last one for LeBron, maybe in his career. But after watching opening night against the Denver Nuggets, it just came to the reality that they just don't have the offense to keep up with the Nuggets offense. The Nuggets look like they picked up right off from last year, while the Lakers, putting in a couple different combined players like Christian Wood and a few other players like Prince, have tried to mix up their roster and move things around. They've got an entire regular season to figure it out against the Denver Nuggets. I'm just not quite sure they're going to be able to. Maybe a trade at the end before the trading deadline is done, but the Lakers have a lot of work to do to get past the Nuggets. If they do that, then they're looking at a championship.
There were 13 quarterbacks drafted into the NFL class of 2023, including 3 of the first 4 picks. Many, if not most of the names you know. That doesn't mean that somebody can't still slip through the cracks. Until last Sunday, John Kitna was the last college Division II quarterback to start a game in the National Football League. Kitna was a walk-on at Central Washington University out of the Mount Rainier League. He hooked on as an undrafted free agent for the Seattle Seahawks head coach Dennis Erickson, who turned up on campus to look at another player. That was back in 1996. Kitna wound up with a nice 17-year career that concluded in 2010. Then last Sunday, the Chicago Bears, desperate for a replacement for the injured Justin Fields, but not so desperate as to start Nate Peterman, turned to rookie Tyson Bagent. Bagent was a Division II college star at Shepherd University near his hometown in West Virginia. Shepherd is in Shepherdstown, which is slightly larger than Lima and home to just 3,700 students, but still more than doubles the town population during the school year. Bagent made himself visible by winning the Harlan Hill Trophy, the Division II version of the Heisman, back in 2021. And his dad, Travis, may have helped, however slightly, by winning 17 world championships in arm wrestling. Armed with that background, Bagent took the field for the Bears last week, completed 21 of 29 passes, and beat Las Vegas 30-12. Whether this is the start of another kitten-like 17-year run in the league remains to be seen, but he'll get another chance to help make it so Sunday night when Chicago plays at the Los Angeles Chargers. That's our unfinished business, and that is our show. I'm just hoping that out in L.A. that this Travis Bagent, the arm wrestler, shows up. It's like a mountain.
I'm confused about the Chargers defense. I mean, they've got a lot of defensive stars, and their defense is terrible.
Same offensively. This is a team that doesn't make any sense. They have so much star power, so much experience, and they just can't get out of their own way.
I think we pumped up Bears Chargers enough for one show. That is our program. We'll see you again next week on the Rochester Press Box.
Oh, boy. So what happened with your daughter's cheerleading competition?
Oh, my goodness, man. Whatever you do, don't let them get into cheerleading. Okay,
noted.